Well, there you have it, football fans. Now that things have wrapped up in San Diego, it's time for us to wrap things up here at Red Zone. So from all of us here at DirecTV, I'm Andrew Siciliano. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you right back here next Sunday for more Red Zone on DirecTV.
And we are clear.
What a day, my friend.
Hey, great show, Andrew. Do not know how you do it.
Yeah, you do. 7 hours, no bathroom breaks.
All right, let's get you change up on the table.
Let's
Here
get
we
me
go.
cleaned up.
Up here, little buddy.
Oh, Andrew is a messy boy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know. Field conditions are muddy, football fans.
When did this happen? During the Eagles game?
No. That was the end of the Niners game. I did not expect that comeback. I'm sorry. So you got your masters to do this? Nice. I'm sorry. I stopped at Starbucks. I had to get a carafe. You know the rest.
Oh, who's the messy boy?
Starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Power College for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. It was a heavy UCLA Bruin themed show today. You had Neuheisel on, you had Aikman on, Reggie Miller. If USC would have won on Saturday, Fritzy, would we have been looking at a different show?
It's possible, but it just kind of worked out that way. There was no plan to have a bunch of UCLA guys. Troy Aikman was booked, last week and needed to do it on this particular day. Reggie Miller normally joins us Monday, but we slid him over to Tuesday. And then Rick Neuheisel, we thought he'd be great before we head out for Thanksgiving with one more song and with the selection committee new rankings coming out tonight. And it just turns out that they're all affiliated with UCLA until we added Elvis Dumervil to break the streak.
All right, well, the former UCLA quarterback was up first, and unlike the Trojan defense on Saturday, the boss actually put pressure on the Bruin.
Who are you rumored to have dated? Sandra Bullock?
Who was I rumored to have dated?
Or that had a crush on? Did Sandra Bullock have a crush on you years ago?
Well, I'm not going to answer that for her, but I guess if I'm answering it for myself, I'll acknowledge that in the affirmative. But I'm not sure that she would agree with that.
Was she a Cowboy fan, or where did this come up?
No, I don't even think she was a sports fan. I met her years ago, and that's kind of where it was left. I think it was just at a time where she was single and I was single, and a lot of innuendos were made.
Are you scrambling? Do I have you scrambling right now?
I'm scrambling. Yeah, I never was a great scrambler, but I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job right now.
If I was to put together a list of questions I don't think Troy Aikman wants to answer, right up at the top is, hey, can you clarify any rumors about your dating history? I can't think of anything he'd rather talk about less.
And I think Seat and I both went, ooh, oh.
Yeah.
But what I can assure you about this show is while we do guest prep for every guest, and our facts are often wrong, our questions are often based on Wikipedia, this was well researched. I guarantee Todd and his staff looked into the dating history of Troy Aikman and found that nugget about the possibility of Sandra Bullock. I have no doubt that our team with Todd and his extensive staff behind the scenes got that one right.
Well, I don't know, though. If you're talking about Hollywood couples, who is the one man whose expertise... I think Dan Patrick's expertise in Hollywood gossip is so... It's farther ahead of us than his sports knowledge. It is basically, I'd say that his 1B obsession behind sports is who's dating who in Hollywood.
I'm just wondering if this is something that we should continue now with all of our guests. And let's just clear up any dating rumors or any type of something in history, no matter how long ago it was. I mean, the Sandra Bullock thing's got to be 10 years old, probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just keep digging. Let's keep digging.
By the way, is there any doubt that Troy Aikman could have gotten Sandra Bullock? I mean, it was Troy Aikman.
I can't imagine that
won
being
3
tough.
Super Bowls in the 90s.
Well, it depends on the timing. If it's
Yeah.
just after Speed and Troy's retired, who knows? You know, the last couple of years in Dallas weren't the greatest years. His percentage was down, his touchdowns were down. We'd have to match up post-Speed.
Like America's sweetheartness versus MVP caliber play.
Yeah, and when did they cross on the axis of love and famousness?
Troy also dated Lori Morgan, super hot. Well, DP put the pressure on Troy Aikman. Bruins head coach, former Bruins head coach Rick Neuheisel called in and sort of turned the tables on the boss.
I looked next to Curtis Conway of Trojan lore and said, "Take that." That's what you do. You know, it's all about the rubbing it in to those who live right next to you. It's a city divided on that particular day, as you know.
Yeah, but
by the way, don't you have a child at USC?
Yes.
How did he celebrate on that particular day?
She.
Or she?
Yeah.
Actually, my boys have met her. Said she's kind of hot. Do you get that a lot?
Well, she looks like me. Do your boys think I'm hot?
My boys clearly now think you're hot too.
Yeah. My daughters get that. But be careful, Coach. All right.
I'm on slippery ice right now.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. It was all in jest, and obviously Dan has a great relationship with Rick.
How do you know that was in jest?
Well, I don't think he was trying to say anything inappropriate, is what I'm saying.
You're saying someone calling Dan's daughter attractive is a joke to you?
No, but you're saying that Neuheisel made up the fact that his son said his daughter...
No, I'm not saying that, but I don't think that Neuheisel was trying to make Dan uncomfortable and say something inappropriate.
Do you think it's a true story?
I do think it's a true story.
Okay.
But I don't think that he was trying
to rib him, have a fun.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't meant to be anything.
That being said, that's one of the most awkward moments in show history. That it's very underrated because Dan's not usually the awkward party. He's usually the awkward initiator, and the other person's the awkward party. That pause by Dan is one of the longest pauses in show history in my mind because I was like, whoa.
It seemed like when it happened, like it was like 15 seconds long of Dan just sitting there. Now, when we just watched it back, it was a little quicker than I remembered. But just the combo of his face and the pause and the like.
There's a thing that you'll learn. A few of us have girls, and you always love your kids. But when you have girls are so off limits for any kind of talk like that. It's unbelievable. There's a scene in The Sopranos where one of the guys from New York messes with Tony Soprano's daughter, and he curb stomps his teeth in a restaurant. That scene is understandable after you have a daughter. I mean, you wouldn't do anything that wild, but Dan's just paused like, whoa. You're not saying my daughter's hot or even touching my daughter as a topic. That's just a hint of reality there with Dan's reaction.
Fritzy, can you clear it up for us? Is Dan's daughter hot?
Dan has a very attractive family, and now I'm starting to feel bad for Rick with the extent of this conversation. That if he's watching right now, he's probably a little mortified and feeling uncomfortable by bringing that up at all. But he's got a very beautiful family.
Beautiful.
And,
that's the word you used, Todd. The word is beautiful.
I think
yes,
he did. I think Todd
she's a beautiful young woman.
Todd just had a great save with family by saying he has a beautiful family. He sort of got back into the Hallmark world. I think he did a good save there.
He didn't say beautiful family. He said an attractive family.
That was weird.
But at least everything I say isn't analyzed like I'm on the witness stand. Every comment I make.
I know, but it's not your first comment.
Attractive is not the right word to use.
Okay. I apologize if I've offended anybody. I hope we can continue with the program.
Yeah, it's better than saying that. But
unless it's your wife.
Speak up, buddy.
Don't ever say
it's better than saying Dan's family's hideous.
Yes. Well, why is attractive? Because she's not of the right age to call someone attractive. Is that the point?
Well, because attractive implies
that she's pretty.
Something.
No, pretty implies that she's pretty.
Attractive.
I'd have to check the synonyms.
A certain amount of
check your synonyms and get back to us tomorrow. And let me know if you figure out what attractive means.
Are pretty close.
Because we've gone over this attractive thing probably 30 times in the show history.
Attractive shows like interest.
Yes.
Okay.
You really think that you can't attractive and pretty aren't synonymous?
You can say, if you make it the family, I think you're okay. An attractive family doesn't mean I'm attracted to your whole family. Like I want to hook up with Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Sally.
No,
I mean,
but I guess
that's not attractive family is a save. It was brilliant, I thought.
No, if you say it was a lovely family and they seem pleasant to be around, that's what you say to casually compliment someone's family.
Okay, let's take a break. Coming up, DP uses his magical hands to save a life, not choke Fritzy. Welcome back to the box score. The boss says these wide receiver gloves that are being used today are a performance enhancer. McLovin, any chance that these things will get outlawed, much like Stickum?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were debating that today's poll was, should they be allowed to wear them? I don't think they'll get outlawed, but I think that they're going to check them closer. They check them before the game and at halftime, and there's a set of physical rules on how much stickiness they're allowed to have. It's like a big deal.
I've never heard this before. So they check your gloves to make sure they're not...
They randomly check to make sure they're not too sticky, and there's a guideline about what's too sticky.
I've never heard that before. You wrote that article a couple years ago about this, and do you think that most people don't care, but don't think of it as an enhancer, like the casual fan, or they just don't read about it.
I don't think, but I think that Beckham catch sort of changed the tide for gloves. It's like the
And how
glove
do they
was.
check it? They run it through a machine or something? Like, what's
No, they
the
hand
test?
check it. They check a lot of uniform things. But also the Beckham catch too was so extreme. He only used 3 fingers. That I think people are going to be focusing on gloves. So next time a guy plucks, like last night, Robert Woods for the Bills plucked one out of midair, stuck against his helmet, and it was like basically stuck to his hand. I think it's drawing a lot of attention. But again, anything that helps the offense is good for the NFL. So
Now,
I
why
don't think
couldn't
they're
you?
going to
Now,
change it.
receivers mostly catch with their hands, but sometimes they catch with their body. Could you make a sticky jersey? And why would that be illegal?
That's a great
Like,
point.
what if you said, Adidas, make us a jersey that has, for the receivers, that has stickiness all
Feel like
over.
a running back, you won't fumble as much.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I'm sure that would help. It definitely wouldn't hurt.
Think about it too. The defensive back will put his hands, now excuse me here, all over. It will get stuck to him, and that's how you get the penalty when you pull the jersey. So I have a super sticky thing, and like the defensive back's trying to get off, but he can't get off. You get the flag every time.
Go for a jump ball, stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your sound was down, that was
weird
McLovin doing housekeeping in Fritzy's room. Okay, I think DP was on to something on this whole wide receiver glove thing. McLovin, you were hucking them at him, and it was like he was Peter Parker out there, Spider-Man pulling in everything. Paulie, how do you think you'd do if you had these gloves to use?
Well, I can't catch, so it would make me better at not being able to catch well. Dan's a generally good athlete, but he was actually picking some out there that I was like, yeah that's pretty impressive. And I think that what proved there is that these gloves help a lot, because there's no way he would have made 1/3 of those catches without the gloves.
They really do help. The boss was definitely sure-handed with those sticky gloves, but when McLovin went into the box, he had to use his hands for a different reason.
A moment of glory in my 2010 SI article talking about how gloves have transformed the NFL game way ahead of the curve, as usual, on the NFL. And then all that went out the window because Dan threw it to me for a poll result, and there was something stuck in my throat. Actually, it's still there because I couldn't get water because, excuse me for a second. I'm stuck in my throat. Just give me a pat.
Seriously?
I mean, I'm okay, but it just, that's good. I'm gonna go back in here. Yeah, Dan.
What was going on there?
Oh my.
Dan Patrick,
Lord.
hero. I don't think there's really any other way to describe it.
Saved your life.
All right.
Hero.
You got like a.
Did you guys hear, by the way, if you recall, by the way, that sounded bad. Go back to the actual segment when he went to read the poll. That was one of the worst cough button misses ever. You know. Oh, man.
We
that
got a
was the
question on
worst.
behalf of the front row. How real was that moment in the box with your choking? On a percentage.
No, it wasn't choking. I came back here and I had that thing. I had an almond stuck in my throat. And like my voice was going in and out. For sure.
I'll tell you something. Dan, look, I was watching from behind the glass, and Dan thought you were actually having a problem. He thought when he patted you on the back, he thought you were being serious. How serious were you being that you were having a problem?
No, that was not serious at all. I did not need the Heimlich. I did not need the Heimlich. I definitely faked it to get some physical contact.
Not even for a
from the
second?
boss.
Sometimes you get scared for a second if you think something's not going down or it's stuck in there.
No, but what is that phenomenon? And you maybe like the radio experts in the room could help. When you eat something, why it's like, oh, I just ate this. Why does something get stuck in there that affects your throat on radio? I know this is probably 7 years too late.
Well,
to ask
mostly
that
because
question.
you don't usually eat on national radio and TV.
Right.
Yes.
You usually try not to eat.
Yeah, you have a meal either before or maybe after a show.
Yeah, I like to munch.
Right.
You do. You have
Because it
lots
keeps,
of snacks
it keeps
all
my
over the
blood
place,
sugar up, so I don't. I
means.
keep in a good mood, so I don't pick apart the words of my coworkers. And for example, if you were going to take the show and lunch was late and nobody had eaten before the show, it might get ugly. So I try to avoid.
So I should eat more.
Situation.
Okay, I'll start eating.
He should eat more too.
Well,
Seton, are you surprised to see the boss save McLovin's life? Well, there went Seton.
how am I not going to do that? That's not a T.
Oh boy.
We are back here on the box score. It was announced that Katy Perry will be the halftime performer at Super Bowl 49. Seton, I know you're celebrate her catalogs. Are you going to be watching this show?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. I'm already trying to, like, secretly plot ways to get her on the show leading up to the Super Bowl. I'm super stoked for Katy
Dude, I do not get your Katy Perry because you have, like, this awesome taste in music. You like the early punk rock, grunge, like kind of like guy rock music. And then you're like, I really respect Katy Perry.
He also is a big fan of women who are really good looking. Historically.
Accurate. Yeah, historically,
As
yes.
most of us are.
You know, I don't just look at just the layer of Katy Perry's music. I'm not that shallow. I look at her whole as a being.
Nice, well said. You know, I'm really interested to see if we get her on the show because we work with NBC. We're partners with NBC. NBC has the Olympics. Dan is giving out the trophy. She'll be the halftime guest. I would assume that we'll have her in person of Super Bowl week, which is going to be pretty cool. That's a shot to NBC, by the way. A little shout out to you guys.
Yeah, nice. Fritzy, get that handled. Well, there have been some classic performers in the halftime for Super Bowl, but we wanted to know, do you remember any of them? Let's do a little quiz, shall we? We'll make it row versus row, and let's be hooligans today. There are steals on the table. Up first, the front row. Super Bowl 27 was a blowout as the Cowboys stomped the Bills 52-17, but it featured one of the most watched halftimes ever. Which musical icon was the feature performer?
I know this one. Yeah, I know that. What, do you have the year on this one, Broccoli?
It's when Super Bowl 27 was played. I have no idea.
That's right.
Whitney Houston?
We got the steal.
Yeah, she did the anthem.
93 is what we're guessing.
93 is what we're guessing?
What was Super Bowl
It should have
1?
been Motley
69?
Crue. Should have been Motley Crue that year.
Right.
The Motley Crue?
It was not.
How about like the wasn't like the Eagles or something? U2? No.
That's not dramatic.
No. I don't know. For some reason, I just want to say Whitney Houston.
Go for it.
Whitney Houston.
You were incorrect.
Steal.
Back row,
Yeah,
you want to steal.
Go ahead.
That would be Michael Jackson.
Yes, indeed.
You are absolutely correct.
Oh, that's when he was alive.
Michael Jackson.
I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Michael Jackson still dead. Michael Jackson still dead. My notes.
Steve and I were doing beer bongs in the other room. We weren't
Yeah, I was
watching the.
blacked out by the time.
To the back
I
row,
was
the
doing a keg stand
Steelers
with.
took down the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40. The first for Ben Roethlisberger, but who took the stage to entertain the crowd at the half?
That was an
No
indoor
hints other than that.
stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, I've got a theory.
Okay, wait. Let me think of where I was in my career.
Springsteen.
Okay. That was. Yes, I think it was like, oh, man. It was like old fogey rock. You remember they were going with like the Who and like
Yeah.
that kind of band?
The Eagles now.
No, it wasn't Springsteen.
Yeah.
He did a little later.
We gotta
Just guess. Go Justin Timberlake.
Okay, we're gonna say Justin Timberlake.
Wrong. Front row.
You went
We're gonna guess a combination of Aerosmith, Britney Spears, and Kid Rock.
Ooh.
That was a good show, but it was incorrect. Rolling Stones is who performed.
Oh, I knew it was Dinosaur Rock. Damn it.
You did say.
So close, McLovin.
Old
Front row,
rockers.
you're up. We all remember Super Bowl 42 for David Tyree's amazing catch over Rodney Harrison. But if you grabbed a beer at half, you missed these guys perform. Who are they?
These guys. It's gotta
Wasn't
be
there
more
like
than-
man?
I know
Wait,
this.
what?
You do?
What one was this? Giants.
This is Tyree catching. This
Yeah.
is Giants over the Patriots.
But these guys might be just a band name because the way he said it.
It might be
Because it
the
would have been this
U2.
guy.
It could be U2.
The U2s.
It could be. Did Green Day do one?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think
The
so.
Green Days?
Why'd you go with the U2s? They did at least 2 of them or 3 of them. They're like every other year.
We'll
Like,
do the U2s.
You were Joshua Tree. Wrong. Back row.
Go for it.
I say we don't get fooled again and try the Who, although it could have been Tom Petty. But we're going to go with the Who.
It was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
my fault.
These guys, Brock? These guys?
I know. How do you go Tom Petty? And
You counting the Heartbreakers? Nobody counts the Heartbreakers.
Name one heartbreaker, Brock.
You're the Heartbreaker.
Steve.
We had it.
Steve is a heartbreaker. Last one for the back row. Fritzy, you rejoiced when the Broncos beat the Packers 31-24 in Super Bowl 32 for their first Lombardi trophy, but who was one of the performers at the game's halftime show?
Okay, so we know it's one.
Fritzy was probably in the bathroom during the
You got to
halftime.
immediately think
17.
that it was some sort of. I like Seton mentioned Britney Spears. She was part of a combo. Janet Jackson.
17 years ago.
Was that the Janet Jackson FCC violation? I don't think so.
No.
But that's a good guess.
Want to go for it?
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Janet Jackson.
Wrong.
Timberlake.
Front row.
It was.
Who's the guy?
Wanted to be at that Super Bowl.
Running down his nose.
Jethro
You know,
Tull.
we're gonna guess Rush.
Also wrong. Great group. We were looking for any of these. Boys to Men, Smokey Robinson, Queen Latifah, or The Temptations.
Wow, Queen
Oh,
Latifah.
Detroit. A little Detroit accent.
Good job, guys. The winning row today is the back row. Way to sit there and not drink beers during the halftime. Don't go away. Rick Neuheisel played another classic today. We will roll that back for you after this.
Well, I think it has to be Alabama. They put the Bulldogs on the bricks. What if they lose again to War Eagle? What if we have to watch another kick six? I think we have to love the Seminole Nation and their quarterback, Jameis Winston. He's not an expert on public speaking, but he has found every way to win. We've got to look west to the Pac-12. The Oregon Ducks will fit just right. The whole country loves their West Coast football, just like Pat Hayden loves Lendale White. Hey, I don't know. Teams will win or lose, which ones I'm gonna choose. Who the hell should go? Sing it with me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it will be great when we go from 4 to 8, so I can go home.
Welcome back to the box score. We're closing up shop here. Got Jimmy Buffett. I got the parrot here. Shellback rum. This is so festive. That was Rick Neuheisel's new joint. I don't know. Paulie, where does this one rank in all of his songs?
You know, I'm going to rank it 3rd out of 5. I thought it was good. It really picked up at the end. The other thing you got to respect him for is it's not like he's been writing this for a month and then said, hey, I got one. Fritzy, can you put me on? Fritzy called him just maybe 3 days ago to come on, and he goes, oh, I'll whip something up. And that's a real talent to mix comedy and music. I mean, you know that. I mean, playing a guitar is tough to do it well. Singing on national radio on a phone, what are the chances of being quality? And then you add in comedy, that's about as tough as it gets. And he's all by himself. He's probably sitting at his desk at work or sitting in his office at home. It's really sneaky impressive.
Yeah, I never realized he was that talented. And as of 4 or 5 days ago, when he was thinking about coming on, I got every impression that he did not have a song already. So for his ability to whip that up in probably the last couple of days is quite impressive. And he's just great. And he's got a really nice voice, actually.
It's like an angel's. Fritzy, have you tried to set up an in-studio performance with Coach Neuheisel?
Yeah, we always want to have him on. He's unfortunately usually 3,000 miles away, but next opportunity we have where he can join us in the Connecticut studios or we're in New York City, it would be great to have him perform live on camera.
Let's go out to L.A.
Yeah,
I'm in studio
I'm
there.
in studio. Oh, another thing, I'd like to maybe with Coach Neuheisel's permission get a Christmas album together, maybe for the national title game that you could buy as one purchase. He's got 5 good songs. He could whip up another 2 before January. Another thing, if the national title game does not have a halftime act, he could just whip out his own repertoire, do maybe a medley, like a nice 8-minute medley. You could produce that. And
that'd be
fun.
See, you said in the box that the coaches' songs are starting to rival Fritzy's Sunday Night Football tunes. If you have to choose one, who's getting the nod? Is it Fritzy or Neuheisel?
Oh, snap.
You're on the spot.
Yeah, I am. Well done by you.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I didn't mean to do
If
that.
I can only keep one of them on the show. Man. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Coach Neuheisel's songs. And no offense to Todd Sunday Night Football songs, because they're really great. We've done them for a few years, though. And, Coach Neuheisel, there's always something a little different. It's really well written. They go on to, just take over the internet for a day or so with the show. I would go there with it.
Oh, Fritzy, yours are much, much better. Who's on tomorrow?
We are going to be joined by Gary Danielson, and we will be joined by Rich Eisen as well so far for the Wednesday Thanksgiving Eve edition of the show.
Looking forward to that. Thanks for watching the box score. Set your DVR. Tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Audience Channel 239. If you're on the go, the podcast available on iTunes or podcast1.com. Be safe.
don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long and appropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!